Ah, the 90s. Golden years of my very youthful days. I never expected I'd one day be playing a gacha set in that decade. And the 60s. 20s? Oh, we've got time shenanigans. And fun little nods to pop culture from the times. Very Ghostbusters. This is Reverse 1999, a 20th century time travel RPG by Bluepock. It's a world with some unique vibes, because in addition to the real-world history settings, you've also got a bunch of spellcasters running around. From a pirate radio host whose magic manifests via her DJing, to a disembodied knight. Honestly, there are a lot of quirky characters. Most are lower rarities, but it's great to see that some do get the spotlight. If one as quirky as a knight can make it to 6-star rarity, who is a floating pair of gauntlets and a sword, then I have high hopes that more unusual characters will be released at that rarity in the future. Of the game's two main components, its story and combat, we're going to focus on the latter. While the tutorial mode does a wonderful job at teaching the card combat mechanics, there were a few times I got tripped up and lost a battle due to intricacies I overlooked. We're going to dive into the basics, followed by those intricacies the game leaves for one to trip over before learning. To do all this, we're gonna need some characters. How peculiar. 2-star characters are the second rarest drop? I'm conflicted on whether I'd feel lucky or not if one shows up. 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars, I presume? No way all those dull grays are 2 stars. Else this is the luckiest unlucky temple I've ever done in a gacha. Open all. So if I click them individually... Oh, those are 6 stars. Well then.
Hi, I am Sotheby.
Guys, I swear it's not rigged. Now then, on to breaking down those combat mechanics. We're starting from the top. Even if you've already played the game, I reckon you might still pick up a trick or two. While in premise the system is simplistic, there's nuance in everything. Every battle begins with an initial draw of cards. The number of cards is equal to your party size plus 3. If you don't like your initial cards, you can redraw as many times as you wish, simply by accessing the pause menu and restarting the fight. Doing so costs no resources. Each character has 2 card types representing their arcane skills, with a third card, their ultimate, automatically being added to your hand when their Moxie gauge reaches max. Moxie is the little diamonds below each character's health bar. Enemies have it, too. Moxie can be gained in 4 ways. 1. Using a card. 2. Moving a card in your hand. 3. Merging cards. You'll also gain another Moxie if the card had to be moved to merge. 4. Special status, either from card effects or stage conditions. It's worth noting that merged cards with higher star values will only grant 1 Moxie when used. I absolutely totally did not go through the game's first chapter thinking otherwise. Between our heroes and the baddies, we've got 3 slots. These represent the number of actions you can take. You get 1 per active party member. If your active party falls below 3 members, you'll see these decrease mid-fight, which unsurprisingly makes winning a whole lot more difficult. Defense and healing are important. Additionally, these slots serve as the reset button for your current turn. Alright, we're ready to fight. Let's take a look at the combat forecast, depicted by these icons above each enemy's head. We can't see the order that actions will take place, or which hero will be attacked, but we can get a read for the type and tier of attacks. Each icon depicts 1 action that enemy will take. Sword represents attack, diamond represents debuffs, hourglass means buffs, a leaf signals incoming healing, shield shows the enemy plans to enter counter mode, and a dark icon with an arcane symbol is for ultimates. If any of those symbols have a tinted gradient and empty space on their right, that means it's a stronger version. You won't see an ultimate display like that because they don't have a stronger version. Memorizing these symbols and their meanings will help you counter them, because like any good card game, manipulating your opponent and dictating what they can and cannot do is the surest way to victory. Heck, they even call it Control in the pause menu's quick reference guide. The devs know what's up. Characters with access to disarm are able to prevent attack actions. So Neto is your main source for this, as she's not only a really strong character, but is also free. She deserves a spot on any team in the early and mid game, even if it's as your reserve member. Characters with silence can prevent 4 types: buff, debuff, counter, and heal. Characters with seal may prevent ultimates. And lastly, those with daze can prevent everything. However, daze tends to be locked to 3-star cards or ultimates. To clarify, I'm not advising one build a team covering all of these. Rather, slot one in if there's a particular type of recurring action that's giving you trouble. Truthfully, Soneto's Disarm, available as a 2-star card, will help you ward off enough to get through a lot of the content currently available. But what if you're the one who gets slapped with a control status? Well, be wary. The game will not prevent you from using actions you currently cannot. If you select them, they will go to waste unless the control status is removed before they appear in the action queue. Other than that, some cards can transform via merging. If the afflicted character has access to one, they might still be able to take action. Now you know how to control your opponents, and by extension, the flow of battle. But do watch out for enemies, particularly big boss baddies, who sometimes have a permanent resist control status. It means you can't tell them what to do, so tank up with a healer. Lastly, we have a tuning option. These points you build via actions in battle can be spent on abilities, such as redrawing your current hand. They're a way to mitigate the luck factor of drawing in tough situations. And that's battling in reverse 1999. Let's close things with a few quick tips. As mentioned earlier, you can infinitely redraw your initial cards by pausing the battle and hitting restart. This does not consume any resources. Only 7 cards can be held. Ultimates count towards this. If your hand is full when an ally gains 5 Moxie, their ultimate will not be added to your hand. In special battles where you control 4 characters instead of 3, you'll be able to hold 8 cards. You can skip your turn by moving cards to fill all your action slots, thus building Moxie. Great for when an enemy has a counter barrier active. 2 1-star cards create a 2-star card, but it requires 2 2-star cards to create a 3-star card. Cards that change types when merged often scale poorly in terms of damage to balance their newfound utility. Keep that in mind if your situation instead calls for higher damage output. Lastly, and this one's important, beware of overkill, because it'll cause you to throw out good cards. What I mean by this is, if an enemy wave is defeated before your action queue finishes, any unused cards targeting enemies will be discarded. As you can see here, Sotheby loses her 3-star debuff card. Ultimates will not be lost in this manner, and heals or buffs will still play out. And with that, you've got the fundamentals, and arguably the most important thing of any system, all figured out. If I missed something, do let me know in the comments. After all, I'm new to and still exploring the game as well. There very well could be things farther into the game that shake some of this up. Reverse 1999 is out now on Google Play, iOS, and this last one's pretty awesome, PC. There's a link in the description to download and play. And with their launch celebration going on, new players can get up to 73 summons by clearing the launch milestones, and a guaranteed 6-star within 30 summons. Thanks to BluePock for sponsoring this video. Had my eye on the game for a few months now, because with a setting like this, think they've got something truly unique. This is Moosashi, signing off. Till next time.